The Jordan River has been a sacred and mysterious site for millennia, attracting countless seekers and adventurers to its shores in search of divine and historical revelations. However, in recent months, this once mighty stream of water has been gradually shrinking. As it does, it has exposed secrets that no one expected. And well, it gets even crazier, as now something incredibly massive has just surfaced under the Jordan River. What is going on? Join us as we explore the shocking discovery that's been revealed in the dried-up Jordan River and how it might alter everything we've ever learned about the region. The Jordan River is a sacred site that holds a deep meaning for millions of people. It is a witness to the ancient history and the modern innovation of the region. It is a source of life and beauty, but also of conflict and controversy. It is also a place where a shocking discovery has been made, a discovery that challenges our understanding of the past and the future. But before we delve deeper into this recent discovery, it's important to understand the context and the significance of the Jordan River. The Jordan River flows from north to south, through the Great Rift Valley, from the slopes of Mount Hermon to the Dead Sea, the lowest point on Earth. Along its course, it passes by Petra, a stunning city carved into the red sandstone cliffs of Jordan over 2,000 years ago by the Nabateans. Petra is a marvel of engineering and art, a testament to the skill and the vision of its builders. The entrance to Petra is through the Siq, a narrow canyon that leads to the Treasury, the most famous and impressive building in Petra. The Treasury is a massive and intricately carved structure that was once thought to contain hidden treasure. But the Treasury is only the beginning. Petra is full of other wonders, such as temples, tombs, theaters, and markets, that reflect its rich and diverse history as a hub of trade and culture. Beyond Petra, the Jordan River continues its journey, crossing the borders of Jordan, Israel, the Palestinian West Bank, and Syria. The river is not only a natural wonder, but also a religious one. For Christians, the Jordan River is the place where Jesus was baptized by John the Baptist, a momentous event that marked the beginning of his ministry. The river is also mentioned in both the Old and New Testaments as the site of many important events and stories, such as the crossing of the Israelites into the Promised Land, the healing of Naaman the leper, and the preaching of John the Baptist. The river has been a destination for pilgrims and believers for centuries who come to be baptized or to witness the holy waters. But sadly, the Jordan River is not what it used to be. The river is in a state of decline, losing its flow and its glory. The river is suffering from the effects of climate change, geopolitical tensions, and human activities such as pollution and water diversion for agricultural and domestic use. According to Yana Abu Talib, Jordanian director of EcoPeace Middle East, the river's water levels have dropped significantly, with the United States Geological Survey, USGS, reporting that the Jordan River now only brings 100 million cubic meters per year into the Dead Sea, compared to 1.3 billion cubic meters in the past. The river's flow has also been further impacted by the competing demands of Israel, Syria, and Jordan for access to its water supply. Nations fighting over water access means that it's difficult for Jordan to be revitalized, as none of the affected parties want to give up any of their water. But as the river dries up, it reveals something that has been hidden for a long time. Something that is shocking and mysterious. Something that we will explore in the later part of this video. One of the biggest discoveries of the Jordan River area was the Dead Sea Scrolls. These ancient manuscripts, discovered between 1947 and 1956 in 11 caves near Qumran on the northwestern shores of the Dead Sea, are approximately 2,000 years old, dating from the 3rd century BCE to the 1st century CE2. But apart from being old, what makes them so special? The Dead Sea Scrolls are a remarkable collection of ancient manuscripts that reveal the earliest traces of the biblical text in the world. They were mostly written in Hebrew, the sacred language of the Jewish people, but some were also composed in Aramaic or Greek, the languages of the surrounding cultures. The scribes who wrote them used homemade parchment, made from animal skins, as their writing material, except for a few scrolls that were written on papyrus, a plant-based paper. The harsh conditions of the desert preserved these scrolls for thousands of years, but only as fragments, scattered and torn by time and human hands. Yet, Thanks to the painstaking efforts of scholars, these fragments have been pieced together to form about 950 different manuscripts of varying sizes and contents. These manuscripts can be classified into three main categories: biblical, apocryphal, and sectarian. The biblical manuscripts include some 200 copies of books from the Hebrew Bible, also known as the Old Testament, covering every book except Esther. These copies show how the biblical text was transmitted and interpreted by different Jewish communities over time. The apocryphal manuscripts contain works that were not included in the official canon of the Hebrew Bible, but were still considered sacred or valuable by some Jews. Some of these works were already known from translations in other languages, such as the Book of Enoch or the Book of Jubilees, but others were completely new discoveries, such as the Genesis Apocryphon or the Testament of Levi. The sectarian manuscripts reflect the beliefs and practices of a specific Jewish sect that lived at Qumran, near the Dead Sea, where most of the scrolls were found. This sect is usually identified as the Essenes, one of the three main Jewish groups in the Second Temple period, along with the Pharisees and the Sadducees. The sectarian manuscripts cover a wide range of literary genres, such as biblical commentary, religious law, liturgy, and apocalyptic visions. They reveal the distinctive worldview and lifestyle of the Qumran sect, which was characterized by strict observance of the Torah, communal organization, messianic expectations, and opposition to the ruling authorities. However, not all of the scrolls belonged to the Qumran sect, as some of them were written or copied elsewhere and brought to the site for safekeeping or study. The discovery of the Dead Sea Scrolls was a watershed moment in the history of biblical and Jewish studies, for it unveiled a treasure trove of ancient literature that had been hidden for centuries. To say that the scrolls are special would be a gross understatement, and so would be the story of how they were found. The first 7 scrolls were discovered by sheer luck. It happened in 1947, when a group of Bedouin shepherds, who are native nomads of the Negev Desert in southern Israel, stumbled upon a cave near Qumran on the northwest shore of the Dead Sea. Inside the cave, they found several clay jars that contained leather scrolls wrapped in linen. They did not realize the significance of their find, and sold some of the scrolls to a local dealer. 3 of the scrolls were quickly acquired by E. L. Sukenik, an archaeologist from the Hebrew University of Jerusalem, who recognized their importance and published their contents. The other 4 scrolls were bought by Mar Athanasius Samuel, the metropolitan of the Syrian Orthodox Church in East Jerusalem, who smuggled them to the United States in 1948, hoping to sell them for a high price. They also excavated the ruins of Qumran, which revealed the remains of a settlement that housed the sect that produced or collected the scrolls. Since then, no more scrolls have been found, despite occasional searches and surveys in the area. But the story of the scrolls does not end there, for they continue to inspire new discoveries and questions. Recently, archaeologists have uncovered near Jericho what may be the first ever evidence of the biblical story of Exodus. The biblical story of Exodus is one of the most captivating and influential narratives in human history. It tells the epic saga of how the Israelites, the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, escaped from the oppressive rule of the Pharaoh in Egypt and received the 10 Commandments from God at Mount Sinai. The story spans 4 books of the Hebrew Bible: Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. It begins with the Israelites groaning under the harsh slavery imposed by the Egyptian king, who feared their growing numbers and power. God heard their cry and raised up Moses, a Hebrew who was adopted by the Pharaoh's daughter, to be their leader and deliverer. Through Moses, God unleashed 10 terrible plagues on Egypt, such as blood, frogs, locusts, and darkness, until the Pharaoh reluctantly agreed to let the Israelites go. Moses then led them across the Red Sea, which God miraculously parted to create a dry path for them, and drowned the pursuing Egyptian army. Once they reached the Sinai Peninsula, the Israelites camped at the foot of Mount Sinai, where Moses ascended to meet God and received the 10 Commandments, the core of the covenant between God and his people. The Israelites then set out for the promised land of Canaan, but along the way they faced many challenges and temptations, such as hunger, thirst, rebellion, idolatry, and war. They also encountered God's presence and guidance, such as the pillar of cloud and fire, the manna and quail, the water from the rock, and the tabernacle.